4 days ago on this very channel, I asked the question, was immigration doing the impossible in Northern Ireland, bringing Republicans and Loyalists onto the same page? Well, I may have asked that question 4 days too early, because now the new IRA has entered the story. Alright, let's go. Have a look at this headline here. Yes, the Daily Mail is reporting that security sources believe the new IRA is considering intimidation and violence aimed at driving migrants out of Ireland. And one source reportedly summed up the emerging objective in 3 extraordinary words: all migrants out. Now, I'm not telling you that the new IRA has officially declared civil war. There is a separate viral video of an unidentified masked man making that kind of threat. We do not know who he is, who authorised him, or whether he speaks for anybody except himself and his balaclava. But that does not make the intelligence report disappear. And if it is even broadly accurate, something significant may be shifting inside of Irish republicanism. Remember what we discussed 4 days ago. We already knew Loyalist paramilitary figures had been around the recent immigration disorder. PSNI Chief Constable Davy Beck told MPs in July that members of Loyalist paramilitary groups were present at some sites and were involved, as he said, in directing violence. What we did not have was the Republican side. Now, security sources are reportedly briefing that the new IRA may itself be moving on to immigration. So what the hell is going on? Because the real story here may not be some secret IRA UVF pact. Immigration may be starting to split the whole Republican movement itself. Look at Sinn Féin. At their 1998 Ardèche motion, 26 committed the party to work towards what it called, and look at this on screen, the optimum position of no restriction on immigration into Ireland. You heard it, you read it, no restriction. Now, Sinn Féin today says every state must be able to control its borders and that immigration must take account of housing, public services and capacity to accommodate people. Okay, fine, but here is the problem. Their own voters are moving underneath them. A Red C poll published in June asked voters here in the Republic whether they would support a hard border with Northern Ireland to curb onward immigration from Britain, which, as we all know, is a huge factor in the amount of people currently showing up in Dublin and claiming asylum. 90%, it is estimated in some reports, have come straight from Northern Ireland. So yes, it's a massive problem. Well, get this, 36% of Sinn Féin voters said yes to the imposition of a hard border to curb immigration. Just think about that. More than 1 in 3 Sinn Féin supporters surveyed are willing to contemplate bringing back a hard border because of immigration. Now, if that doesn't tell you the old political rules are being scrambled, what does? And then there is the dissident Republican world. Sarah, often described as politically linked to the new IRA, although it does deny such a relationship, has repeatedly attacked the anti-immigration right. Academic research likewise describes the new IRA as believed to be its armed counterpart, while noting that the link is, of course, denied. But Sarah's own immigration article last year acknowledged pressure on housing and services in working class communities. It attacked the political left for abandoning those communities and then said open borders and uncontrolled mass immigration is a neoliberal project. Now that's quite a journey from pretending immigration itself isn't a problem at all. So let's imagine this. Imagine the arguments going on now inside Republican circles. One side still talking about international socialism, anti-racism, solidarity, and the other side saying, have you looked outside? Have you spoken to the people in the estates?
Here you, Sinn Fein, going around with your fucking leaflets. Look up here. What are you going to do for the Irish folk instead of being fucking traitors?
And if this intelligence briefing is right, somebody in that world may now be shouting, enough! Now look at this graphic. For a half a century, Northern Irish politics was basically this. Republican and Nationalist over here, Unionist and Loyalist over there. Orange versus green. But immigration creates a completely different dividing line. Restrict immigration at one end, liberal immigration, open borders at the other. And suddenly, two people miles apart on the constitutional question can now look across the old divide and discover, hang on, you think this is madness as well. And maybe, my dear friends, that is what we're now actually watching. Maybe nobody needs to organise a grand IRA UVF alliance. No grand meeting, no secret pact. Maybe immigration is independently pushing sections of both communities towards the same position. Imagine that. The old questions were orange or green, British or Irish, Union or United Ireland. But now it seems another question is crashing right through those old lines and those old loyalties. Who decides who comes here and how many? Now, threatening ordinary people with violence is not the answer, and I have no interest in romanticising men or women in balaclavas. But neither will I pretend this story appeared from nowhere. We all saw the hints in the streets. We all saw the pot boiling. Now, it seems, we can actually see an argument developing inside republicanism itself. And this new IRA report may be the loudest signal yet. 4 days ago, I asked the question, IRA and UVF united by immigration? But today, the question is even bigger. Is immigration beginning to redraw the political map of Northern Ireland? Because if it is, then the old rules may be disappearing very fast indeed.